Right.
Why? Though?
Huh?
Why?
Because I'm allowed to. Just pat you down.
I know, but you pulled him
You're
over.
not under arrest.
I know. Hold on. I'm talking about my rights here.
Uh-huh.
You pulled him over. Why now?
Because we know that he doesn't have a driver's license.
You knew that? You already knew that before you pulled him over?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
What?
Did you know he didn't have a license before you pulled him over?
Oh, I don't know what she's known.
Didn't you pull him over? Did you know he had a license? Didn't have one? But what that got to do with me?
In this video, what you are about to witness is how cops goad citizens into not realizing they are surrendering their rights.
She got you for a traffic stop. I'm just patting you down because
No, I don't want you to touch me
Why
at
not?
all. Because I wasn't driving. I didn't do nothing wrong.
You didn't do nothing wrong?
Nah, nothing at all.
Okay, here. Let's sit on this curb for me.
I mean, because I've been pulled over before and I knew that. I mean, you know.
Okay, here, sit down for me. Now, you know the regulation, the law, Terry versus Ohio?
No, I
You
no.
ever heard of that?
No.
Okay, it gives us officers the right, if we're investigating something, like a traffic citation or anything, yeah, we can find out where all the people are in the car, and then we're allowed to pat you down for our safety if we feel like we need to. You know that, right?
Damian Elliott captured the video we are watching. A quick break in the action, however. Tuabaya Israel of We the People University, a former police officer, gives us his input.
One of the things that always annoyed me about policing is when a cop tells someone to sit down on the ground. That's one thing I never did as a police officer. It's the ultimate disrespect in my eyes. Citizens are human beings, adults. There is no law stating that you have to sit down on the ground because a cop said so.
This is what I'm talking about. I don't know nothing about that. I know that when you pull somebody over for a traffic stop, that's the reason why you pulled them over, right? It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Anything else that can bring us to the attention to anybody else?
No, there's no attention. I ain't doing nothing wrong. I respect y'all. I mean, you know, y'all know me anyway. So I mean, like, it ain't like I'm some out of towner or something. I've been here since 2005. You know? So, you know what I mean? And I ain't got nothing on me anyway. You know, I'm just trying to, get my rights going. And that's it, you know.
The citizen wisely realizes what's going on, but let's go back to something. The officer states in this video the case of Terry v. Ohio, which reads as follows. Under the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, a police officer may stop a suspect on the street and frisk him or her without probable cause to arrest if the police officer has a reasonable suspicion that the person has committed, is committing, or is about to commit a crime and has a reasonable belief that the person may be armed and presently dangerous.
What he's not telling the passenger is this. He does not reasonably suspect that the passenger is involved in committing a crime, nor does he suspect the passenger of having any weapons. So then why do you want to pat him down? You simply just want to violate his rights.
And that's the importance of this entire situation. The citizen does not have to be patted down. However, as the law office of Robert E. Luttrell wrote, the first thing you should do when a police officer turns on his or her lights is pull over. Remain in the vehicle unless the officer instructs you to get out. An officer can instruct you to do so. Politely ask the officer why they are making you get out of the car. They may not tell you, but you are putting them on notice that you are not simply going to comply with every request. Remember, the police officer should be recording everything. You can record it too. Under Pennsylvania v. Mims, a U.S. Supreme Court case, a police officer is allowed to remove you from the car if he/she feels unsafe during a lawful traffic stop. The case makes it clear it must be a lawful traffic stop. It will be very hard, though, for the common person to decide if the stop is lawful. You should assume the stop is lawful and get out of the car only after asking, why do I need to get out? If the stop was unlawful, let the lawyer deal with it in court. When you get out of the car, you can roll up the window and lock the car. This is not a sign that you are hiding anything, and it does not give the officer the right to search your car. When the officer approaches, you don't answer any questions. Do you know why I pulled you over is typically the first question an officer will ask. Your answer should always be, I don't know why you pulled me over. This answer doesn't incriminate you. Even if you know you were speeding, don't tell the officer. It's an admission of guilt. Further, maybe they pulled you over for a reason you don't actually know. Maybe you have a light out, but you admit to speeding. That's not smart. Next, the officer may ask you what seems like friendly questions like, where are you going? Where are you coming from? What are you up to this evening? These are not friendly questions. These are probing questions, not friendly ones. You don't have to answer them. Never lie to the officer. Just politely say, I'm not answering your questions. You should be aware that you have the right to say no to any search the officer requests. Be careful of any suggestion. That officer is going to search your car. What the officer says may sound like a command when in fact it's a request. I'm going to take a look in your car, okay? This sounds like a demand, but it's a question. Always say no. It is not okay. If the officer says anything like this, then you should say, I do not consent to any search of me or my property. The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution gives you the freedom from unnecessary searches and seizures. Lots of people will allow the search because they have nothing to hide. That is besides the point. You have a duty to invoke your rights, all of them. Many people will fight for their Second Amendment right to bear arms, but will gladly waive their Fourth Amendment rights. It is your right and duty not to waive any rights you are given. The more we waive our rights, the more they will be encroached upon.